Sergeant Wiggins.
Sergeant Wiggins? Okay, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Young Marine Sergeant Wiggins. I'm one of the platoon sergeants for the Young Marines. And right now I'm going to talk to you about our national mission and motto. Our mission is to positively impact America's future by providing a quality youth development program. And we're really focused on teaching these kids valuable skills that they may need in the future for jobs or military life if they do choose that path. We're not focused on the military, but we are the Young Marines, so it is mentioned. But we really just try to teach your youth good skills ranging from survival skills to everyday skills they may use, such as respect and various things like that. And our motto right now is strengthening the lives of America's youth. We're focused on the betterment of tomorrow, basically, through youth. And we hope to accomplish that by teaching everyone valuable skills. And our next slide, I would like to introduce our unit commander, Mr. Velasquez.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Again, like Sergeant Wiggins mentioned, I'm the unit commander for Excelsior High Desert Young Marines. I am a military or a Marine veteran. I also served in the Army Reserves for approximately 18 years. So I do have a little background with military, not much, but a little bit, just enough to get in trouble with. But what I want to explain to you is what the Young Marine program is about, okay? So it's guided towards youth education and a service program for boys and girls, ages 8 to 18 and completion of high school. So once they reach the age of 18 is when they start to kind of like not filter out, but they're transitioning now from being a young Marine to graduation of high school, so they can no longer participate in the program per se. But they do have the option to come back as a registered adult leader. And so that's very good for them because once they leave the Young Marine program, we still want them to participate because they have a lot of skills that we can use to help the rest of the youth that come, to our program. And so it's a valuable thing for them to stay. It promotes the mental, moral, and physical development of its members. It focuses on character building, leadership, and promotes a healthy, drug-free lifestyle. That last part is our focal point in the Young Marine program, a healthy, drug-free lifestyle. We promote a lot of drug demand reduction prevention classes, which means we're constantly enforcing that young Marines need to stay away from drugs, stay away from that criminal element that has all that kind of things that are going to deter them from being a productive citizen. Next slide. So who we are. Okay, we are one of 24 units in California. There is 24 units that are approximately in California, and we're part of that group. We are sponsored by Excelsior Public Charter Schools of Victorville and the local veteran organizations like the VFW, High Desert Marines. And what's good about that is that the charter school, for instance, provides us with a place to set up, to do our drills, and they're a big contributor to our program. Our unit was chartered in December 12th of 2012, so we haven't been around for a very long time, but enough to where we're actually we're growing every day as we speak. And we are also founded by the members of the Marine Corps League. Okay, so how does your youth become a young Marine? Well, basically what they have to do, we conduct a yearly BRT every year. Okay, we always started around this time. So I'm sure some of you have been waiting for quite some time to participate in this program. So our next BRT is going to be held Monday, July 27th through Sunday of August the 2nd. The location's at Marine Corps Logistics Base in Barstow. So what the recruits will do, or what they need to be prepared for, is that they're going to have a six night stay with the graduation on Sunday. We're going to provide a gear list later on when you return all your documents. The one thing that they're going to need out of anything, and the reason why I harp on this is because oftentimes the young Marines will show up looking like, I guess, what you would expect, or the recruits would show up without a haircut. Okay, so let's describe what a haircut is. That's a haircut. So if you don't look like me when you show up on day one, guess what? We're going to have some issues. All right, so not little shave off the sides. You're going to have a full baldy, okay? And you're going to look proud and happy and just gleaming with joy and everything else. All right? So that's what they need to show up on the first day with the haircut. So some of the things that we're going to go over as far as the training is that they're going to learn Young Marine history. They're going to learn customs and courtesies, close order drill, which is basic marching, physical fitness, a lot of physical fitness. All right. Hopefully these guys, your children, are going to be able to run marathons after this. We'll see. Swimming, hiking, and military rank structure. So right now we're going to show you last year's recruit training that we did. It's a little lengthy video, but it gives you a good idea of what we did last year. So, okay. Yeah, okay. So as you can tell from the video, we keep the recruits busy throughout the entire day. Okay, this is going to be a long basic recruit training this time for us. Normally we would do it between 4 to 5 days. This is going to be a full week. Okay, so we keep them busy from 0530 to 2200, which is 5:30 in the morning to 10 o'clock. And they're busy doing everything from hiking, like I said, studying, everything that you possibly can imagine when it comes to training. We can't do this training without the assistance of the active duty Marines. So what I like to do right now is introduce Lance Corporal Higginson. He is stationed at Barstow. He is one of 4 or 5 active duty Marines that assist us with the training, and he's going to elaborate a little bit of his experience of what he's seen, what he's done with the youth, and give his experience of what we've been doing lately.
Good afternoon. I am Lance Corporal Higginson. Like Mr. Velasquez says, I am one of the Marines that is stationed at NCOB Barstow. I am one of 6 that's going to be out there this time around. You saw, I think 3 or 4 of them in that video. I've been with the program for just under a year now, and this will be my 3rd BRT. So I've gotten to see a lot of these kids grow from, I don't want to say bad kids with a few problems, into really good kids. And hopefully I can help your children grow as well. I will be acting as a kind of drill instructor / advisor for the young Marines that will be conducting the training. I believe there's going to be 3 or 4 of them.
3.
They'll all be sergeants and corporals. And hopefully I can help your children grow into something better. Something great.
With that being said, Lance Corporal Higginson, like I said, helps out tremendously. Now, one thing you have to understand about the Young Marine program, it's not a shock program, which means it's not a program that normally like a law enforcement agency or whatever would receive a bunch of troubled children that are having behavioral problems, things like that. Now, with that being said, is it going to be a shock when they show up? Yes. When they show up, it's going to be just like regular Marine Corps boot camp. Okay? They're going to show up, they're going to be dropped off, and they're going to get the receiving, and as soon as we receive them, guess what? We're doing everything just Marine Corps style. And if anybody's a former Marine or a Marine veteran knows what I'm talking about, that's exactly how we do it. With the Marines assisting us, we make it as authentic as possible to Marine Corps boot camp. Now, we're not going to, hurt them. We're not going to put our hands on them. We're not going to do anything that's going to put them in jeopardy. Safety is our paramount thing that we constantly hone in on every 5 minutes, or every 2 minutes, actually. So let's say after your youth graduates, what's going to happen after that? So after BRT graduation, your young Marine or your child will officially be a young Marine. So what that entails is they'll be able to wear the young Marine uniform, which is what Sergeant Wiggins is wearing right now. They'll be able to attend drill. For Victorville, we attend drill the 1st and the 3rd Saturday of the month. They'll be able to work towards ribbon awards and promotions. And they'll participate in unit, battalion, regimental, and division functions. So right now I'm going to turn it back to Sergeant Wiggins. And if you didn't know, Sergeant Wiggins is our Young Marine of the Year. Every year, the unit, the battalion, the regiment, division, and national all participate in a competitive process to select the Young Marine of the Year. He was our unit's Young Marine of the Year. Unfortunately, he didn't go all the way to battalion, but they have just now selected a National Young Marine of the Year who's a Sergeant Major, and this happens throughout all the units across the United States. So we all pick a Young Marine of the Year, so he's ours for the unit. So I'll let you.
All right, so to become a Young Marine, there's a few paperwork that need to be filled out and a few documents that we need with the paperwork. The completed application is going to include a current copy of a medical or insurance card, a current physical clearance, basically meaning that they are able to do physical fitness activities, running, push-ups, stuff like that. And we need a copy of a social security card number on file. And there is also going to be fees, which are going to be covered later on in the presentation. And also they need to attend the basic recruit training course as we just talked about. So it's a fairly simple process, just a few documents we need. And that's really all we need. For the next slide.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jose Perez. I'm a Marine veteran. I'm the executive officer here. Also did a little bit of time with the Army. I would say about a good 25 years with them. So been around the mill a little bit. I'm going to give you a little quick brief on the BRT fees and monthly dues, which will include, and is not refundable, the BDU top, which is this shirt, the BDU bottom, which are the trousers, the cover, which is the hat, jungle boots, kind of similar to these, red national T-shirt, which you already saw up there in the video when we were showing the basic recruit training. Also, a green unit T-shirt. It's like an OD colored T-shirt. Khaki belt, just like this. Name tape and patches, which include these right here, okay, and also the patches. A canteen with belt, and also a guidebook for them. If you have any questions on all that, you can go ahead and get with me a little later after the program, and we can talk about the fees. And we also have a program which throughout the year that the finance officer or the public relations officer will get with you to help you with the some of the financing, okay? And with that, I will turn it back over to, yes?
Myself.
To Ms. Velasquez.
Hi, everyone. So,
Thank you.
just so you all know, thank you, Mr. Perez. We're 100% nonprofit. Every single person that you see in this room, we do it for free. We just do it because we want to better our kids and our community. I also incorporated a cost involved to cover the cost of the food, to cover the cost of what we have to give to national to help us purchase ribbons and things of that nature that will in turn come back to your kids, okay? So I just wanted to interject so that all of you know where that cost goes. It's 100% going right back to the kids. That's basically what it comes down to. I'm going to do the next slide, and it's going to cover BRT payment plan and dues, okay?
Okay, so like Ms. Velasquez was saying, we are 100% nonprofit. We do allow a payment plan. We did this last year, and it helped out a lot of people when it came to participating in the program. So again, we're going to implement this again for you guys. Okay, so the document completion and return. So what we're looking at right now is everything, all documents need to be back by June 6th. We're going to have a drop-off time between 11 and 2, which is going to be here. Okay, we'll have staff available. At that time, we're going to have stations set up to where you're going to come in, you're going to drop off your paperwork, and then we're going to send them immediately to a station where a registered adult leader is going to be present, and they're going to size the young Marine or the potential young Marine to get his uniform. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit of a process. It's going to be a little bit time-consuming, but in the end, it's going to be beneficial because we're going to have the correct sizes for them. So when we order these uniforms, they're going to look sharp. They're not going to be like, you're going to have a young Marine this size, and he's going to be wearing Sergeant Wiggins uniform. So hopefully that won't happen. At that time, we're also going to give out the gear list. Now, the gear list is going to involve a lot of different things. They have to have everything on that gear list. And the reason why I say this is because when they get to BRT, guess what? We're having a gear inspection. I don't try to like hide that under the rug or anything like that. There will be a gear inspection. And when it happens, hopefully you won't be the one that didn't bring your lock or didn't bring your item, whatever it was that we put on that list, because guess what? You will be pointed out and you will be talked to in a nice, cordial way. So make sure you show up with all your documents. Make sure you show up with everything that you're supposed to have on that gear list. If you didn't have this information already, this is the adjutant PRO's point of contact information. Ms. Velasquez, this is all of her contact info as far as everything. So if you have any questions from now until the time that this whole thing begins, make sure you contact her. If she doesn't return your phone call or you send you an email back right away, don't get alarmed, because she's constantly vigilant when it comes to taking care of all matters regarding the young Marines. So does anybody have any questions? Go ahead, ma'am.
On the day that we come and turn in paperwork on June 6th, do we make the payment as well then?
Yes. Yes. Did everybody hear that question? So on the day that you show up for returning the paperwork, do you make your payment? Yes, you do. We'll receive all payment dues and everything else at that time. Anybody else? In the back? No, not today. Because from now until the time that maybe your youth is going to begin, or when all the documents are due, they may change their mind. So I don't want to take any money now or anything like that, because a lot can happen from now until June 6th. So we want to make sure that you guys are 100% on board, that you want to do this. And then once we get the ball rolling, then it's fun time. Yes, Ms. Velasquez is going to be handing out the applications. We'll give you all the documents that you need to fill out. And then all you have to do is make sure you get the physicals done and return all the documents. Yes. Yes, all of that.
So the 85 would be due at that time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Question?
Is possible we can do that before? We are going on vacation. We have the tickets already paid. If we leave it at June 4th.
Okay, so your question is, can you do it beforehand because you have other circumstances? Yes, that's not a problem. The only thing is just make arrangements with Ms. Velasquez. We'll coordinate a time and a place to do the sizing and do everything, and she'll get all the documents from you, and then you'll be able to do what you have to do. We have a budget, not a budget, but we have a set dollar amount that we work on, and all that money goes into that fund. And what we do is we purchase the ribbon bars, we purchase a variety of different things that we have in our inventory to replenish what your youth is going to use. So sometimes it may, not cost you, and sometimes you may have to pay a little extra in case they forget something.
Somebody has been following us on Facebook. You'll see that recently we went on an encampment at Mojave Narrows. That was 100% paid for out of our unit funds. The unit funds are basically there to fund fun activities for all of the youth, all of our young Marines. And also, there's times that we've been known to participate in functions like at Camp Pendleton, and it gives us a little bit of money to be able to rent vans to transport all of our young Marines wherever it might be necessary. So the funds are basically 100%. They're all going to be there just for the kids. They're not intended for, let's say, if your young Marine, let's say he graduates and 2 months later he loses his guidebook, or, he decides, heck, I don't want to read my guidebook. I'm going to just throw it in the trash because Ms. Velasquez is going to give me another one. No, I'm not. I'm going to charge you for it. That's how it works, okay? The funds are not there for that purpose, so just for clarification on that, okay? This year, I do want to elaborate that one of the things that we worked really hard on, the year prior in 2014, the parents were responsible for providing hydration independently, which basically means the pack that they wear on their back, the camelback or the canteen. This year, we're including it. So there's not a big price difference. We were able to save elsewhere, but we're giving you guys a little bit more. We're also including the unit t-shirt, which last year was not included in the price. So this year, it's a really good value. Okay? Any other questions?
On Sunday when you said that we graduate, is that like a ceremony?
Yes.
Yes.
And that will be in Barstow?
Yes. Let me elaborate on that too. Last year, when we did the ceremony, like you said, we had it at Barstow. The only dilemma that we had is that at the front gate, it was very hard for the parents to come in. So there was this huge line. So we're going to try to figure out a different way to accommodate everybody when it comes to that. I haven't yet thought of how we're going to do that exactly, but keep in mind that on that Sunday, though, it would behoove you to get here early. At the same time, be prepared because we could run into that again as far as long lines. And I know a lot of parents got upset and they were like, getting up, mad about, why can't they come in? So we're going to figure out a good plan for this next one and figure out how we're going to do that.
On that, keep in mind, this is a Marine Corps base. If you do not have your proof of insurance, you're not getting on the base, and there's going to be about a half-hour line behind you to get on the base. You have to have your driver's license, proof of insurance, or you're not going to get on base.
And it has to be in good standing. We've had scenarios where, people from the community think, oh, I'm just going to go in because I'm seeing a graduation. If you have a warrant of some sort, or you're traveling with someone that's driving that has a warrant, don't have them go with you to the gate because guess what? You're not coming in. Okay? So just for all of you to be aware of how that works.
Also, if you're not going to valid registration, you will not get on base. And if you give the gate guard's attitude, you're definitely not getting on base. You're probably getting arrested. They will arrest you in a heartbeat. Just
Very
so.
true.
And when you pull up, they're going to take your license. They have this little handheld thing. They're going to swipe it through. If you got a warrant, an outstanding citation, it's going to tell them in about 10 seconds. They're going to say, pull over there. They're going to cuff you up, and they're going to call Barstow to come pick you up. So if you have something like that, don't try to drive on base.
Get somebody else to drive.
We wouldn't have said it if it didn't happen.
And we want you guys to be there. So please make an effort. Go down to DMV and clear off whatever it is that's going on. And be there. That's the whole idea. You had a question, ma'am?
Yes, I was wondering, so for the 6 days, we have no contact with the children
Exactly.
during that time?
Yes. You guys will see them at the gate. You'll say your goodbyes, wave at them, hominis dominus, all that stuff. And then that we take them and they're ours.
And one other thing, I'm so sorry, but right now that she mentioned that, last year, people started taking photos next to the gate. Don't come with your camera and drop them off and start taking photos because they will come over and tell you no photos allowed. Okay, it sounds really funny, but they're very cautious.
Has there ever been an incident where a child could make it through 6 days, and he had to come home because of homesickness or just
Okay, she has a very good question. It's a very valid one. The question is, has there been a scenario where a child enrolls to BRT and can't make it for whatever the reason? They're homesick. My theory on it, and Mr. Velasquez and the XO and myself kind of play a role in how that works. We treat every scenario as an individual scenario. If a child is homesick, we're not going to do the first thing by, we're not going to say, hey, I'm sending you home. No. We're going to do our very best to motivate them and to keep them involved in the program. If it is really a worst case scenario where he's coming to me or coming to one of our staff and it's 3 days in a row and we can't get him to stop crying or whatever the scenario might be, because that has been known to happen. If that is truly the scenario and this child is taking us away from our other recruits, we have to draw the line and say, you know what, maybe this isn't for you right now, but we're going to welcome them to come back. The money that's been paid is still non-refundable. So have a good conversation with your child and let them know that this is going to be a scenario where if they're not 100% sure and they're not 100% ready, that's okay. There's always next year, But we encourage you to not do that. We encourage you to empower them and tell them, yes, they're going to push you to your limits. Yes, this is going to be the hardest thing you'll probably do from now to, the next 10 or 15 years. But that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to empower your youth. So please encourage them to go through it. Okay?
Just real quick also, I would also advise that if you have a felony or been convicted of a felony, it will show up. And there's a reason why we're telling you all this, is because it happened last year. And there was a lot of controversy. So please, behoove you. Yes.
With the parents.
They were parents. Yeah.
Question.
He was saying that if you've been convicted of a felony, then what?
They will not let you on base. And if it's outstanding, they won't take you in.
Question.
I understand you provide a uniform such as the one you're wearing now, but you also provide like Class A's or dress blue uniforms.
That's a good question. Actually, in our Young Marine program, you do have, once you become a Young Marine, you do have the option, or not option, you have the ability to purchase the Young Marine uniform, which is what he's talking about, the Class A's, the Alphas, or the Charlies. We've been trying for a long time to see if we can have the funding come out from us to pay for the uniforms. It's very difficult. So in reference to that, once you become a Young Marine, you're allowed to wear that uniform. The only thing is you don't wear your dress blues. Only Marines can wear dress blues, but you can wear the Alphas and the Charlies and all those uniforms that you're talking about.
Okay. But we have to pay for it, you said?
Right now, yes.
All right.
But that's not required right now. So you don't have to pay for it right this second, you know what I'm saying? It'll happen later on once you get into the Young Marine program.
Entitled to it.
Right.
All right.
Well, this is going to be a summer vacation out of the school.
Say again?
The program is going to be after school or
Yes.
for 3 months or?
Once they graduate, is that your question?
Yes.
Once they graduate, we drill the first and the third Saturday of the month. So like today, for instance, they'll get here at like 7:45 in the morning, and they'll stay till about 3 o'clock, and they'll do training all day long, classes, things like that. And we kind of reiterate all the stuff that they were taught in recruit training, and we do some fun activities. We do a variety of different things. But those two drills, that's what they'll do for every month.
I think some people might not know what a drill is, though, and that's kind of what she's referring to.
Okay, so a drill, if you didn't know, is when we get together and we do all of our training. So some people call it in the military or in the Army, they call it drill. In the Navy, they call it muster, but we call it drill too. So, any other questions?
We meet here in this location on the first and the third Saturday of every month. I want to reiterate that because for some odd reason, there's families that to this day will say, when do we drill? Okay, it's the first and the third Saturday of every month in this location. Unless you're in Barstow, then that's a different scenario. Okay?
I'm afraid what they'll look like. Go ahead.
Are the drills mandatory?
For the most part, yes. Now, if you have some kind of circumstances that are coming up, all we ask is that you communicate with either the adjutant, myself, or the XO, and let us know what's going on. We have paperwork that we use, which is time off requests, kind of things like that. We call it leave requests, just like the military does. But basically, that's just saying that, my child, for instance, has sports that day. And we encourage everybody, if you're going to participate in sports, you could do both. You don't have to stay away from the Young Marine program. But we understand that, there's times where your youth is going to be playing a sport. So all you got to do is let us know ahead of time and say, my son's going to be participating in football this year, and we'll say, okay, he'll be gone for the next 3 months. He'll be placed in an active status. He's not being removed from the program, but he'll be in an active status, and then when he comes back, we just reactivate him. It's just, just...
Pay the $5 dues when they're inactive too?
Right.
No.
I'm sorry. No, not when they're inactive.
You guys, in reference to that question, I do want to reiterate, it's really important to communicate. If you feel that your youth is going to be out for 3 months in a row or 2 months in a row, let us know. Because if they miss 3 drills, we will drop them off the program, okay? And then it becomes a scenario where we'll have to approach the unit commander with, do you want this individual back? Has he been performing? Is he doing or she doing what they're supposed to be doing? So please let us know. Also, if you don't tell us that they're going to be inactive for the next 2 months because they're going out of town for the next 2 months, guess what? You're still paying monthly dues. Until you communicate with us, we're still billing you monthly dues. So please be aware of that, okay?
And parents, real quick, I'll get to you right. Once they graduate and they start participating in drills, parents, what we're going to do also is have a class for you. What the Young Marines get is a guidebook. And they study the guidebook, and they have to know all the information in the guidebook. Well, guess what? We also give you guys a guidebook. And so roughly around, July, August, probably after September is when we'll conduct a parent kind of guidebook training and go over all the information you need to know to participate in this program. And like Ms. Velasquez is saying, we discuss about missing the 3 drills, the procedure, all that kind of stuff, which you need to know as far as, making your young Marine inactive for a certain time and then reactivating them again. So don't feel like you're going to be in the dark we're going to help you guys too, understand this program just as much as we had to learn. So we're all together in this, not just us against, or not us against you guys, but us and you. So you had a question back there?
So that's active and inactive for a certain amount of time. What if it's just every once in a while he misses a weekend and we let you guys know, but does that still count against those 3 days that he's not allowed to show?
No, those are excused.
Okay.
As long as you're communicating with us and letting us know, that's all we ask. It's when we have people that don't say anything and they're gone for 3 drills and then they come back and then they leave again and they're not really saying anything. Because oftentimes you're going to find out that sometimes the young Marine gets uninterested. He's not interested in the program anymore. He's kind of got other things going on. And then all of a sudden the light bulb clicks on. He's like, oh, I want to go do that because guess what? National encampment's coming up or regimental encampment. Now they want to participate in that. When it comes to those kind of scenarios, we kind of look very hard on who we're going to select to participate. Because if they're constantly missing and all of a sudden they show up for the fun stuff, then we can't allow that. I mean, they have to be consistent throughout the entire time. So we don't penalize them that way per se, but it's kind of one of the things that we would look at. Question? Yes. Yes. When they come, they wear this uniform, and they'll wear a PT uniform, PT, which is a red national shirt and black shorts. Is Dwight here?
Can you get to Dwight and have him show up so he can show them what the garments are going to look like?
So. Say again? Yes. You can stay in this program all the way up until you're 18 years old or to the graduation of high school. So
we have 2 young Marines right now. It's kind of an interesting story because Sergeant Wiggins and we have another young Marine by the name of Bolger that's been with the program as well. They've been with the program since it started. And they're now turning 18 and they're graduating and they don't want to leave. So it's kind of interesting how attached they get to the program. But they've even requested to extend their time as much as we can. Unfortunately, we really can't do that. So this month, I believe, is going to be their last month.
right, and they want to be registered adult leaders, so it's like when your kid goes to college, you try to get them out the door so
Yeah.
you can enjoy your life. Well, now I can't do that because now they want to be registered adult leaders. So. Question?
I know you said that the 7 days is up on August 2nd.
Yes.
Okay, so are they going to be doing the first and third Sunday after that, or does it start in September?
It'll start in September, right?
What was the question?
When will they start their drills? Right after graduation? I think we did that
Well,
last year in
if
September.
they graduate in August on the 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's like a 2-week lapse, and then they come right in August.
That's right.
We don't waste any time. If they graduated, that doesn't make a difference to me. They're back in as soon as possible. She has a question.
Do you offer auto pay?
Well, we're working on right now, we're working on getting the square. So you'll be able to use your debit card when you come in for your dues. It's a lot easier. So the paymaster is working on that as we speak, right? All right, it's in motion. We're working on it. But yes, you'll have that opportunity to use that. No, for debit cards, if you, yes, you can still use cash too. Part of the whole program? Yes. We run that all year long. So it's not like an after-school program. It's not like, one day out of the month, whatever. It's all year long. So
So are they going to be actually stationed for the 7 days only, or is it just going to be like after-school program thing, or is it just going to be like? Because I think a lot of people here are actually useful to that.
okay, so during the recruit training, they'll be there the entire time. So that's the 6-7 days or whatnot. Once they graduate, then they'll be coming here and they'll be participating in monthly drills, and they'll be 2 times a month. So on the 1st and the 3rd.
So go home to your calendar and circle the 1st Saturday and the 3rd Saturday of every month. Just circle it. Okay? That's going to tell you that you're going to come here and you're going to bring your child with everything that they have, their gear and their whole equipment, and they're going to drill. Basically, that means they're going to have a whole day of class, a whole day of close order drill, a whole day of working with our staff to better them. Okay? They're going to do public speaking, they're going to take drug demand reduction classes, they're going to do PT, PFT classes, which consists of physical fitness tests. Okay, we're going to continue to help empower your kids to be good young adults.
What time?
What time? 7:45 to 3 p.m.
And we participate in a lot of community events. I don't know if you've seen us out there, but we do a lot of things with like veteran organizations, swapping mamas, just a variety of different things. So we try to keep the kids involved in every aspect that's positive. We don't want them out there, getting, attached to the criminal element and then going off the deep end, and then you lose your kid because, peer pressure and all that other stuff. So we try to be around them at all times. Now, one thing I didn't touch on is grades. Grades are very important. Your kids have to be in good standing with school. That means they're not getting into fights, they're not getting expelled, they're not getting suspended. If I start to find out about that, I do what they call non-judicial punishment, which is office hours. And so we bring the youth up in front of the XO and myself, and maybe a training officer, or the senior young Marine, and we talk to them, and we find out what's going on. If it's to the point where they're not really getting it, or they need some more reinforcement, it's been known, it's happened that they've been reduced in rank, or they've been on a suspension, or a variety of different other things. So that does happen in our program. I don't like to kick young Marines out. They'd have to do something very drastic, like punch the XO in the face.
Only happen one time.
Forgot to duck and weave, right? We're just kidding. But the truth of the matter is that it'd have to be something really extreme, because I'm a firm believer in this program. I want to do everything possible to help the kids of America, and I don't want to see any kid go down the drain or have to feel like they're not part of this program. Because once you become this in the program, we're a family. We treat all the young Marines like a family. We go to birthday parties, we go to family functions, we do a variety of different things, and we try to stay together when we're not doing drill. So if Mr. Perez is doing a pool party, we'll go over to his house if he had a pool. So yeah, we'll go to Mr. Becker's house. Question.
Really quick before we move on. A lot of people have asked questions about, with the dates and when they drill. And going back to Mrs. Velasquez has said, communication is really important. If anything ever changes with the drill, you will get an email. So whatever email you put on your application is the email that it's going to go to. So if you say, well, I never got the email, maybe you wrote it down wrong, or maybe you didn't check. There have been times that we have other special events going on, and a drill will be canceled or moved to a different weekend. Every parent will get an email that says, this drill has been canceled or changed to this date or just canceled. Check your emails.
Sometimes we put announcements on Facebook also. So, hopefully between those two and Ms. Velasquez will keep on top of that.
There's also, if you take a look at that website right there, which is www.excelsiorhdym.com, there's a calendar that I work very hard at trying to keep up to date on a regular basis. So if it's ever in question and you don't know when the next drill date is, just log on to that and take a look, and it'll be right there. Or text me. That's why my information's up there. Jason's absolutely 100% right. If you don't hear from me and it's going on 3 weeks, something's not right. Call me. And one of the things that I did want to touch lightly on is that when you do pick up the kids after they graduate, you're going to see a different person. You're not going to see the child that you dropped off. The one thing that we find happens a lot of times is that the minute they get home, we can change your child, but we can't change the home environment. So you all need to help us continue the process of what we've already taught them. If they answer you back in a certain manner and you don't like it, correct it, but do it in a way where it's constructive, and remind them of who they are, because that's your perfect opportunity. The number one phone call that I get all the time is my son's mouthing off, he's not being respectful, he's not doing good in school. These are the kind of calls that I deal with every day. But we can't change the home life. So I say this right now because, like I said, when you pick them up, they're going to be totally different. This is your opportunity as parents to step in and help us help you. Okay?
And just reinforce to them, you are a young Marine, okay? That's not a title that's just given out, okay? The Marine Corps earned that title over years and years, all right? And the Young Marines, we treat it the same, all right? It's a title that you earned. It's not going to be given to you. You know, the success rate, I'm not going to say it's 100% because we have Young Marines that don't make it, okay? It's going to happen. And so maybe one of your children might be one of those Young Marines. But it's not because they didn't put in the effort. It's just because maybe it wasn't their time right then and there, all right? But eventually they can come back and we can work with them. I saw some questions back there. That's a good question. The question was, does this help your youth if they join the military or enlist? There's some different things going out as far as rumors that I probably need to squash a little bit right now. In the Boy Scouts, if you join the Boy Scouts and you get up to a certain badge or rank, I don't know how the Boy Scouts work, but if you join the Army, you can go up one rank higher. In the Young Marine program, it used to be if you made it to sergeant and you joined the Marine Corps, you could go up one rank higher. Right now, the commandant, everything changes when a new commandant comes in. So this new commandant that's here now, I don't know for sure what his policy is on that. So that's something I have to research a little bit more. It used to be in the past, yeah, they would go up one rank. But now I'm not sure if that's still the policy as far as the new commandant is concerned. So I'll have to get back to you on that answer. Anybody else have any questions?
Are we responsible for the badges to be put on the uniform?
Yes. Yeah. The name tapes here and everything, yeah, that'll be your responsibility. Now we have a couple vendors or a couple places that we know that do it for a good price, that deal with us on a regular basis. And so Mrs. Velasquez can give you some of those names and help you out as far as finding a good place to help pay for that or do that.
If I can assist in any way before they graduate, and it really comes down to volunteers, because I'll be honest with you, there's some volunteers out there that are phenomenal and they can really help us out quite a bit, but it really comes down to if they're available. If I can help in any way to get patches sewn onto your Young Marines garment, I will do that for you guys, okay? And Mr. President, do you want to say something really quick?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, concerning the sewing of the patches, Ms. Gallardo, she's with us here, and
I was about to ask you, which one are you?
she's got a sewing machine, and she's been doing some covers for Young Marines, or actually all the covers so far, right, ma'am? But she's willing to step up to go ahead and sew on the name page and all those patches. At no charge.
So that's kind of, I didn't want to put her in the mix because I wasn't sure. It's a lot of garments. But we will try our hardest, absolutely. And if you decide, you know what, you're out in town and you're just going to get them sewn on, that's fine too. If you get anything priced over like $350 per patch, that's too pricey. And just so we know.
So what I want to do right now is show you what the recruit uniform looks like. This is what they're going to be pretty much wearing the entire time during basic recruit training. So when the gear list comes out, we're going to have all this information for you, but they're basically going to have two of these shirts. The name needs to be on the front and the back. Now, you don't have to go to the extreme of going to some place and having this stenciled on or whatnot. If you want to do it with a marker, that's fine. Long as it's, to where we can see what it is. Black shorts. Yeah, legible. But they have to be black shorts. Okay, not gray with black, not red with black, black shorts. Now he's got, I don't know what kind of socks those are, but we'll talk about it. But anyway, I would but I am asking that you have white socks. They can be ankle socks or they can be knee socks. That's fine, but as long as they're white. Good running shoes. Okay, they're going to be doing a lot of running, a lot of PT. So they have to have good traction on those shoes. We've had a couple incidents where Young Marines showed up in vans trying to go up Iron Mike over at Barstow. And guess what? They went right back down. So, and then, like Ms. Velasquez said, we're going to provide the canteen with the belt so they'll have their hydration. So you don't have to worry about that. That goes in the cost. But this is what they should ultimately look like. Now, I understand, well, in July it should be cold, but since we do a lot of stuff in the evening times, they should have maybe some sweats. So maybe a good set of gray sweats. I know those are hard to find sometimes, but gray preferably. And what else did I list?
Well, a lot. So we'll put it on the gear list.
Yeah.
There's other little minor things like hygiene, their toothpaste, their toothbrush, whatnot. We'll put together a gear list. I already have it ready to go, so we'll hand that to you the next time we see you when you come to turn in your application.
Let me explain one other thing real quick. His haircut, when you're in the Young Marine program after BRT, is fine. I mean, as long as it's off the ears and all that other stuff, I'm not asking to have it like this the entire time while they're in the program. But on BRT, yes, they need to look like me. All right? So I forget which one of you, Schwartz, AJ, Schwartz. Today you're Dwight, right? All right, go away.
Thank you, Schwartz.
Very
Thanks.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? How many hours do they do? It depends. We usually try to make it around an hour and a half. Oh, the whole program? They'll be doing physical fitness tests every quarter, and so they have to maintain a good level of physical fitness. So of course PT, it depends. Every month we normally do PT. The bench or the bench.
Yeah, I kind of like, I want to know how many hours it's been the program.
Oh, the entire program?
Does she mean during BRT?
I think the entire
Is
thing.
the program itself, like say he's with, my son's like with the program for a year,
Uh-huh.
is what they have this year.
Well, like
I'm
this
sorry,
morning, they
can you-
did an hour and a half. The first thing they do when they come in, for our Saturday drills, today the kids got here, they got here 7:45. 8 o'clock, they had their formation, did their stretching and everything. They started PT, morning PT, physical training. So they did an hour and a half today. Normally it's about an hour to 2 hours at the beginning of every drill. That's the way we have it structured right now. So you're looking at 3 to 4 hours a month times 12 months.
Wearing glasses or contacts?
I'm sorry, what was that, ma'am?
If he's wearing glasses or contacts?
If he has glasses, all we need is that in his medical information, it's going to say he's required to wear glasses, and he wears glasses or contacts. That's all.
And for the BRT, give them their glasses. Don't give them contacts because they don't have time to do contacts in the morning or at night. So please try not to give them contacts. Okay? If you don't have another way around it and contacts is all they have, then that's different. But if you can provide them with a set of eyeglasses, that would be 100% better.
Any other questions? You guys ready to go home?
Okay, really quick, one last thing. When you're ready to leave here, okay, what I'd like for all of you to do is set up, you're going to go back over there where Mrs. Schwartz is at. Ms. Schwartz, can you raise your hand? Okay. Oh, where is she at? She's not? Okay, well, I can't see that far. Sorry, guys. I'll be back there, and we'll start handing out. In fact, Mrs. Gallardo, you're back there, right? So I'll go back and I'll help you. We're going to start handing out the application. So if the families can just go outside, I only need one parent to form the line, okay? And on a whole nother note, we are always wanting good volunteers, okay? So if you are interested in becoming a registered adult leader, please let me know. You don't have to have military background, but of course if you do, we want you to volunteer for sure. But if you don't, that's okay. We still want you to volunteer. See me and I'll help you and walk you through on the process. Yeah? Okay, I'm holding on to the application too. All right, so thank you all for being here. If you still have any questions, I don't want to hold everybody up. So if you still have questions, please just go ahead.